Hello guys and welcome back to SRL. We are here for the British Grand Prix and I'm not really sure what's happening here. I have no idea, but hopefully it's well, this is going well, isn't it? Is everyone just having problems, or is it just me? I think everyone's having problems. Oh, there we go. Right, we are here, finally, after a little bit of a delay. We are here for round 7 of the championship. You might slightly hear a different person. That is because I am back. I am SRL Apollo, owner of the league. You will have seen me racing a couple of times. We have a few new people and some people returning. I will go through them just in a bit. As you can see, the reigning champion Bonge has taken up a driver role once again. So yeah, let's just go through everyone. 5 Crown returns after, I think it was like a week away, or it was 2 weeks, one of those. We also have Phoenix, who is a reserve once again for this race. As you can see, 5 Crown has actually moved teams. He's in the Ferrari. They have swapped 5 replaced FRT Clar, who is now in the Mercedes, who replaced Richard. Richard was supposed to be in the Aston Martin, but unfortunately he couldn't get into the lobby. As you can see, we have 15 drivers for this Grand Prix weekend. We also have Jake Cool, I think that's what his gamer tag is, having his debut, teaming up with a good friend of his, with Reese, obviously leading the championship. So we will get on board with Jake Cool, as he is the first driver to going to be setting a lap. Just a few facts about the British Grand Prix and some about this circuit. Obviously we are here at Silverstone. It's a 3.661 miles long. It has a seating capacity of 150,000. It has 18 corners. The fastest ever lap round here in real life is a 1:27.097. That was from Max Verstappen in the 2020 Grand Prix. Jake Paul just starting his lap now. Okay. The fastest lap last race, the last time we were here, was a 1:27.2625. Sorry, that was from Let Joe. Obviously, the first race was held in 1950. It has also hosted the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. Going into this round, there is still 144 points still up for grabs, so anyone can still win this championship. Last season's pole was a 1:26.745, and it is one of 2 tracks to host every race in the calendar. The British Grand Prix, as well as Italy. Jake Cool invalidating his lap, unfortunately, there. So we will get on board with, I believe that is the Alpine of Bonge, on his return to racing. Was having a little bit of trouble with his internet connection. He's looking pretty decent so far. Obviously he's going to be the first driver. He has got a Alpha Tauri, I think, just behind him, so that will be LR to spare. Unfortunately, Brando isn't here this weekend. I believe he is working, but hopefully we'll see him back next week. Bonge coming into the final corner now. Let's see what lap time everyone has to beat in this session. Maybe a 1:27.7. Which isn't bad. Let's get on board with the McLaren. There's no point. A Ferrari of, I believe that is 5 Crown, but it has come into the pits. We'll get on board with FRT Clark. No, it's going to be Havoc, sorry. Who's coming into the final couple of corners now. It's not going to be a great lap from the Mercedes driver. It's up to second though. Let's get on board with OAP, big boy, otherwise known as Phoenix. Coming into the final corner now. Hasn't been here for a couple of weeks. Coming around the final corner, goes into P1 with that lap. It's a lovely lap from him. We've got Tazonic, which I believe will be the next car. No, we've got Reece Simo on his lap now. I think we've got Paper Stream about to start his lap as well. As you can see, he is also in a different car. Obviously, me and him were teaming up last week, but he decided to, well, he was going to leave because of some certain drivers, but he is now back, which I am very happy about. And FRT Clark has now gone P1 with a 126 point. I can't see that. Is it 741? I can't just about see that. So yeah, 741. So that is very close to. I think that has beaten pole position from last season. LR to spare pops himself up into P4. That is a car. That's Jake Cool coming out of the pits. We've just had RSF1 Hunt pop himself up into P4, and now Havoc has just crossed the line to go P4. Apparently everyone wants to go P4. I think OAP Phoenix is coming into the pits. We've got Paper Stream on a lap. I don't know if he's going to be. Nope. We've got Reece Simo about to complete his lap here. OAP, big boy. I'm going to keep calling him from now on, aren't I? Reece Simo crosses the line, goes to P3. Phoenix has retired in the pits. I would say he's fairly. I mean, everyone will be going through to the next round unless they crash, which isn't ideal, but we continue to go on. Paper Stream round in the final corner, and that's going to be P8. Anyone that's in the session that is currently watching the stream, can you just let me know how everything is on track? Is it stable? Is it fine? Just so obviously I know. Tazonic moves himself up into P5 with that lap. Let's see who else is on the lap to spare. Is about to start another one. RSF1 Hunt is now rounding the final corner. I do believe he is on a lap as well, so we'll stay on board with him. I think Bonge is about to complete yet another lap. He does improve to a 27.4. That is the fastest lap I've seen him do for the sessions that I've been involved with. That is someone else going out the best. Maybe that is going to be, I believe, Eclipse now coming out of the thing. He's going to have to get out of the way of Jake Cool as he is now on a lap, so we'll ride on board with him. I've heard some good things about this guy. Got a yellow flag. I believe that is Tazonic. No, that might be Reece actually. Yeah, it will be Reece because it's a little bit darker than the Ferrari red. Heard some very good things about him from Reece. Apparently he is slightly quicker than Reece at some tracks, but he has just informed me that he hasn't raced in a while, so it could be a little bit rusty. I did inform that people who usually have their debuts in SRL usually do fairly decent, so let's see if he can do it again and keep that tradition up. It's flat out completely there. It's an absolutely beautiful line. I don't sure if he uses a pad or any assists. I will probably ask him. Everything on the track is good at the moment. Lovely jubbly, that's what I like to hear. Obviously I am having to host tonight. Bonge was supposed to, but he's having internet problems, but he hasn't had any problems so far. Jake Cool coming in to the final couple of corners now, and rounding the final corner. Could this put him onto the top spot? It goes P2. It's only slightly off, only 4/10 off. Very good lap. Bonge seems to be doing a few runs here. Let's get on board with him and sit on board with the reigning champion, who is still in contention of winning this season, but he's going to have to get some decent results. Like I said, 144 points still remaining. I will now actually get the championships up and just give you a quick rundown. So obviously we have there is standings, there is. So currently winning is Resimo on I think that's 64 points above Despair on 46. We have Brando on 44, but unfortunately he isn't here. Klar with a win will go above him. Havoc, if he has a decent race, could potentially go above it. Oh, and Bond just spun. That's going to be a problem, but luckily he has no one around him. I only just realised because I was looking at the stream on my phone. I wasn't actually looking at the screen on my TV. And yeah, so currently leading the teams championships will be Alpha Tauri, but only one car obviously racing for them this week. Mercedes with both drivers, obviously FRT Klar now moving to that team gives them more of a bigger boost to win the championship this year. Alfa Romeo just lurking behind. We've got Ferrari, Williams and Haas, obviously the only drivers, the only teams not to score any points. Obviously after I kind of left, unfortunately. Let's have a look at some other people. Let's have a look at 5, who's rounding the final corner. Goes P7. Paper Stream, I believe, is on another lap, but he is slightly down on his time, so he may be just recharging his batteries, which I believe he is. Despair, I think, is just doing casual runs here. I don't think he's pushing whatsoever, seeing as he's not using any RS. Still waiting for Greg Star to set a lap, but he is on track. Opening and closing his DRS by the looks of things. And Bradford and Eclipse, neither of them have I think even adventured onto. I think Eclipse has adventured onto track, but he hasn't set a lap. Tazonic has retired. Havoc now retires from the session. Bonge also now retiring. Every time someone retires, it lights up the garages for some apparent reason. Let's see what Despair can do here. Goes above Paper Stream, but as I said, he is not pushing whatsoever. Paper Stream on another lap, though he is up on his time. Another thing to notice, that Daleks is no longer here. He has been removed from the league indefinitely for his dangerous driving from last week. It's my fault. It might not have been my fault that he was doing all these crashes and getting involved in incidents, but it was my fault that I brought him back because he told me that he had changed when he just hasn't. So apologies to anyone that was affected by him. I can only apologise so much. But anyways, we will move on from that. Once again, good evening to everyone watching this live on Twitch. Obviously this will be up on YouTube sometime tomorrow, where everyone can watch these races back in, say, like a few years time. I know Paper Stream has mentioned a few times he enjoys watching the videos back because he can see how much he's improved since kind of day one. But yeah, anyone in the chat, fancy a chat, just put some comments in, and when I actually see them, that's okay. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on board with the action that's happening tonight. Eclipse PGR has finally ventured out onto track. Won't have much of a car if he keeps doing those lines. Anyway, and Bradford leaving it very late to turn up. I didn't lock down the lobby, did I? You don't need to apologise, it's not your fault. I feel like it's my fault though, if you get what I mean. Because like, I believed that he had changed, but I guess you can never change a cheater's spots, so 5 Crown also retiring, I believe, in the pits. We haven't had any DNFs on track, so that's always a good sign. I believe a fair few people are just getting some laps in now. Obviously these won't be the tyres they start on. Only the top 10 will start on the tyres. They obviously start on in Q2, so obviously 5 drivers will get to start on whatever tyres they wish, unless obviously we lose more than 5 in Q2, which we're only 3.5 minutes away. Anyway, how are you? I am absolutely fine. Obviously me and Bonge having a slight change. All I love to do this race actually is my favourite track, but we do have plans on racing. Jake Paul has retired in the pits as well. Yeah, so I am absolutely well. I am all good. Set a lap, I should be out of Q2. I mean, technically he doesn't even need to put a fast lap in. He can literally just go round tiptoeing. But the sky does look very grey. So we could see some rain soon. I thought Brad came out onto track, did he not? I literally cannot remember. Anyway, let's get on board with some action. Let's get on board with, I wouldn't say Greg Stars, but he's currently doing some slow paper stream on another lap here. But yeah, answer to your question, I am absolutely fine. Bit tired, but apart from that, I'm all sweet. Bradford finally venturing out onto the track, whilst we're waiting for Eclipse to put in his first lap as well. As I said, doesn't need a push or anything, just needs to keep it on the black stuff. So we will ride on board with Despair, who's still doing laps. Obviously, just no point wasting more than one set of tyres. I was up on Hunt retiring in the pits as well. So, I mean, everyone's done enough to get through. But yeah. So if you've got predictions for pole position, I know who I've got my money on. I'm going to have to put my money on Clark unless he has a terrible mistake. He's looking set for a title push after missing a couple of race weekends because he forgot that we were racing. But he's looking very strong after I think he's done 2 races at least this season. And I believe he won the first race. He did technically win last week, but obviously he carried a penalty from one of the other races, as I believe he retired on track or something. I can't actually remember what he did. Eclipse rounding the final corner. This will be his lap that puts him through. Wait, who are we missing? Are we missing somebody? Because it goes from 13 to 14. Oh no, 13 to 15, sorry. Spare goes up to P6 on an improvement. Still don't think that is hard to spare Phoenix in that order. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are pushing. I know Clark probably has a bit more pace than that. But yeah, I'm going to go with Clark. I'll say Jake and then Reese. Personally. Despair, I think will get close. The same as Phoenix. Bonge will probably be up there as well. Clark P1. Phoenix P2, Jake Paul P3 is my prediction for qualifying. Yeah, I mean I wouldn't disagree to that. I'm pretty sure we are missing someone though, because we only have we had 15 in the lobby, we only got 14. So did someone leave? I'm just trying to see if both Mercedes are here, both Alphas, both Red Bulls, both Alpines. Unless we only did have 14, I'm guessing. Because Richard couldn't join, did he? So we would have had 15, but he couldn't join. That's probably where I'm getting a little bit confused. I think it's starting to rain. But that is the end of Q1. Ah, okay. Oh, we've apparently got AIs as well. That's lovely. It might just because I'm streaming plus being host as well, but I hope, from what I've seen, we've not had any problems as I can see. So everyone makes it through 4/10 between P1 and P2, but I wouldn't imagine a whole lot of people were pushing in this on these laps. But we can see if anyone's picked up any penalties. No, just warnings. List and next lap invalidated from despair, and then just invalidated lap times, which is nothing to be concerned about. Everything's fine on a spectator's end. Lovely jubbly, thank you for clarifying that up. My mic sounds a bit shit, just because I'm using a wire controller, but hopefully that will change in June when I get my Series S, fingers crossed. But here we go, Q2, where things will start to heat up. Obviously this is where the top 10 will start on whatever tyres they qualify. We've got Jake Cool on his way out. I believe he will be the first driver out onto track, unless that McLaren gets out first, but I don't think it will, so we'll have a look and see how Jake Cool does. I'm just trying to see if it's starting to rain. It looks like it would, or it potentially could, but we will find out, I would imagine, in a few moments time. A few people going to the mediums: Despair, Greg Stars, RSF1 Hunt, OAP Big Boy, otherwise known as Phoenix. I will probably just call him that because I call everyone by their kind of gamer tags. And then we obviously have A Bradford on the mediums. So a bit of a mixed strategy. Someone's just changed back to softs, I think. I'm not sure who that was. We've got a load of drivers now coming out onto track. I think that was RSF1 Hunt moving to the mediums, which I saw. Let's get rid of that UI because I don't really need it. I've done commentary for a while now, so but yes, according to Despair, he has a Hamilton themed, what is 5 Crown, and of course it's Alfie. This is either going to go terribly good, oh god, don't do that. I'm looking forward to when this race goes out onto YouTube, because the thumbnail that Bonge has made, he hasn't made the thumbnails, he's taken pictures of kind of like real life events that's happened on the tracks we've done. So obviously if you've watched the Baku race, we have obviously his inspiration of, I think we have a spin for RSF1 Hunt. We do indeed. That's not going to keep his mediums intact. But luckily I don't think he's caused any problems. Oh, and Bradford's out after the qualifying. Let's get on board with 5. Where is he? I think he's on the inside there. Let's get on board with Eclipse. I think he's gonna a very odd way to crash. So season 3's champion, no, season 2's champion, sorry, is out of qualifying. He's got Havoc. This is a problem because Jack is on a lap, but Havoc is a lot quicker. So if I was Havoc, yeah, he's going to have to back out. There's no holding up because Jack is technically on a lap, so that's just pure poor timing there. Oh, and Mercedes has inconveniently gone off track slightly, and I believe that is Paper Stream. We have his teammate of Bonge coming out onto track, which I believe he may have sorted his internet issues out. Not sure if it's because he was hosting or anything, but we will now lose 4 drivers from the session, unfortunately. Jake Cool goes quickest. We've got another yellow flag, and that's a Red Bull round, so that's going to be either Greg Stars or Phoenix, and it is Phoenix. 2 medium tyres going through cops, and both of them have had a spin. FRT Clark with a 26 1.4, just showing how much pace he has, and I think that's just to, well, definitely to, oh god, RSF 100 nearly running into the back of Jake Cool there. No, it wasn't Jake Cool, that was Phoenix. We've had a few people cross the line now. Paper Stream goes P4, Eclipse in P5, Crown has gone into P3. We've also just had Havoc cross the line for P6, but obviously he didn't. Oh, RSF 100, and he's also out. So both McLarens out of qualifying. Luckily for him, his car, he's still reversing apparently, so that's always great. So that is both McLarens out of their home Grand Prix. That's a massive shame for them, especially in the constructors fight and the drivers. I mean, they've both had some pretty bad races. I think Phoenix has had another off somewhere. I think that's now Eclipse. I think just letting cars through by the looks of things. He is indeed. Let's have a look at Havoc. Reece Simo has popped himself up into P2. We've got Phoenix. I don't think he's on a lap. Bonge is now on a lap. Let's see where he is. He's just started. I think 5 Crown has just crossed the line to go up to P4. Greg Stars, I think, is on an improved lap here. He is also on the mediums. I don't know what the weather's going to be like for the rest of the qualifier or the race. I don't think we've had a full wet race so far. I know we've had, I think, like starts of wet races and near the end, but I've never really made it to the end at most races. Havoc crosses the line in P4. Who else have we got on a lap? Got to spare. Let's go on board with Bonge, who's on a lap. Oh, it looked like he's lost the rear slightly, but he's kept it. Purple in sector 2, whether that's a natural purple sector or it's just the game being as bad as it is. But Bonge looking very good so far. That's, I think Phoenix is just doing some kind of demo runs. Bonge moves up to P4, far off everybody else, but I've just shat myself because my partner has just walked in and turned the light off. And I didn't hear her because my headset's loud. Anyways, Despair on a lap here. Not sure if he's on a relatively fast lap. It is Despair, so I'd imagine he is. I believe Reece Simo has retired in the pits, so he feels like he's done enough to get into Q3. I would say that he has, especially being up there in P2. Unless something drastic was to happen. LR Despair rounding the final corner, goes up to P2 now. The second driver into the 26s, so Despair starting to show some pace. I don't feel like that's his sort of full potential, but we will find out when we get into Q3. And Phoenix now nearing the end of his lap, just on the mediums. This looks like it's a good lap so far. Drake Cool has retired in the pits as well. And Phoenix moves up to P5. So we're just waiting on Tazonic, who hasn't set a lap yet. This could easily push Greg Stars and Paper Stream down, but I feel like Greg Stars will be absolutely fine. 7 minutes remaining of the session. Let's see who else can get through. and I am back from my little break. Havoc in chat got held up by the Aston Martin. Cancel the lap, got held up by Despair. I didn't see the Despair bit, but obviously I was on board with you for the Eclipse one, as John has also just said. He was on a lap, so like I said, I think it's just a bit of poor timing, personally. But Tazonic on a lap here doesn't look too great to the start of his lap. He is the only driver out on the track at the moment with 5 minutes to go. I would expect to see 5 Greg Stars, Paper Stream, I would say Eclipse also. As we will be losing 3 more drivers, I believe. No, it will only be 3 drivers. No, it will be 4 drivers, but we'll lose another 2. So Sonic having to go again due to the... Yeah, have it. I mean, you're in P7, mate. Unless 5 Greg Stars, Paper Stream, Eclipse, and Tazonic will improve. I mean, obviously Tazonic, I would imagine, will improve on that lap. Still the only driver out on track. Don't think we've got anyone else. Oh, we've got Phoenix on his way out. I don't think we'll see Clar and Despair. By the looks of things, everyone will be starting on the softs, especially the top 10. And Havoc has retired. I do believe he has done enough, but anything can happen. Tazonic needs to get this lap in, otherwise he might be out. Bonge also retiring. Oh, and he's got away with that. I'm not sure how he's done that. But he's 7 and a bit seconds up. 7.5. Allowed to spare, also retiring. So I would imagine we'll see FRT car back out on track, but anything can surprise us. Tazonic now rounding the last kind of couple of corners. And to the line, where does this lap put him? Goes P7, so that pushes Paper Stream down into the drop zone. And he's going to have to find 2.3 seconds on his lap, if he comes back out, obviously. Paper Stream known for having his hard tyres at the ready. FRT Clark retiring in the pits, so he feels like he's done enough. And we have Paper Stream, and that is going to be, I'd imagine, the end of qualifying for a lot of people. But you never know, if someone could crash out, and that could throw everything into jeopardy, and we'll lose 5 drivers instead of the 4 that we were going to. But Greg Star's now looking to push himself a little bit further up. Hasn't got that much to try and gain on some of the cars ahead of him. Oh, that's 5 Crown. I think trying to get out of the way of his teammate, even though his teammate's not on a lap. Unless there could be some team play going on here. But it doesn't look like it's going to be. We've got Phoenix currently purple in sector 1. Eclipse PGR has retired in the pits, so that is going to be basically the end of qualifying, so everyone in the top 10 will be going through. Let's see what Phoenix can do in this middle sector. Oh, a little bit wide, and he is invalidated. I'm not sure. I don't know how that was an invalidation, but he was 4 tenths up, so he probably would have been in to the 26s, I would imagine. Let's see if he completes this lap. He does indeed. Let's see where this lap would have put. I would imagine he'll probably be going again as well. He looks like he is. He would have been a 26.9. So that would have pushed him up to... It would have been P3 there. But he'll be going again now. Let's get on board with the Ferrari of 5 Crown. Greg Star's going purple in sector 1. Oh, 5 Crown goes really wide there. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Let's see what his sector 2 is going to be. taking all the apex there. DRS wide open. He is down on his time, which I wouldn't be so surprised at. He might go again. I'm not 100% sure. Let's get on board with Red Stars, who is purple in sector 2 as well. This could be a half decent lap from the Red Bull driver. Let's see what kind of lap time he can do. 5 Crown comes into the pits. Just waiting for both Red Bulls to complete their laps. Greg Star's crossing the final corner and he only goes up to P9. So he has a slight improvement, but not anything massive. What are people saying in chat? Yeah, it's fine. That should be good. Yeah, you're going to be fine. Don't know why you're so. And Phoenix, rounding the final corner, goes up to P3. Time before that would have put him, I believe, P3. Might have gone P2. Not far off to spare. But there we go. That is Q2 over and done with. Going through into the next stage of qualifying, we have FRT car to spare, Phoenix, Reese, Jake Hall, Bonge, Tazonic, Havoc, Greg Stars, and 5 Grand. Unfortunately, out of Q2 is Paperstream, RSF1 Hunt, Eclipse PGR, and A Bradford 22, who will be starting last in this race. Probably not the worst place to start, but not the best either. We're just waiting for these cars to... I don't know, we're waiting for Greg Stars to actually come into the pits, and then we can get Q3 underway and see who will get pole position. By the looks of things, Clark still being 4/10 ahead of basically everyone else. And Greg Stars finally coming into the pit lane. And there we go. So he should just be able to retire now. Eventually. I don't want to see it for another minute personally. And there we go. So hopefully Q3 will be underway soon. And there we go. As you can see, top 10 will all be starting on the soft tyres. Could be going towards a 2-stop potentially. Could have safety cars to play in that as well. It's actually quite refreshing to be back in the commentary box. As much as I liked racing, it's just not something that I'm interested in anymore. It's just got to the point where it's more of a chore than, I would say, like a hobby, but I'm very happy to be back in commentary box. I even said to myself before tonight's race, I was going to be a lot more professional than I used to be, which I think I'm doing a lot better. But yeah, it's nice to be back. We are now getting into the final stage of qualifying. Usually around this time, Bonge will be doing his Sky Glass kind of thing, but that's kind of his thing, so I'll leave that to him if he ever rejoins the commentary box. It was fun racing with you when you were racing. I mean, that won't be the final time. I do believe I'll be racing the final race, as that will be the final time I race on an F1 game, as in like league racing, like competitively. I mean, it's not fun for me anymore, personally. Then we have a few drivers on their way onto track. But yeah, the battles that I had were nice. It was nice to kind of race in my own league. I've only done it like a few times. Obviously, it got kind of cut short. Not last season, but obviously the season before, when obviously I was in hospital for a month and obviously a bit, and obviously I wasn't in the right state to be racing or even doing commentary. So as I said at the end of last season, or even like, yeah, there was, or even the start of that season, I've even said like thank you to kind of everyone that helped out. It's quite refreshing. But yeah, I do plan on doing one more race, which will be Abu Dhabi. I mean, Bonds was only supposed to do 2 races. He was only supposed to do Monaco and Jeddah, because there was obviously 2 races that he liked. So, but I wouldn't say we were forced to swap. I kind of just said, like, if you want to race, I don't mind stepping down to do commentary, because I prefer to do it personally. But anyways, enough about me. Let's get on with Q3 and Jake Cole, the first driver to be setting a lap here. Obviously only the 2 DRS zones. We used to have 3 here, going down the now Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. There used to be a DRS there. It's kind of the same as like Australia. It then got removed. I mean, it's not exactly like Australia. Australia had 4 DRS straights for I think 1 session, and then it got taken down. We have a Ferrari having a spin. That's Tazonic again. He's not enjoying himself out there tonight. I think Five Crowns also had a bit of an issue as well. Let's get back on board with the Alfa Romeo driver. It looks like it's going to stay dry throughout this whole entire session. Greg Stars, I think, is waiting. No, I think he's starting to come out actually. Yes, he is. See his little blue dot starting to move, so he is coming out onto track. So we'll have all drivers on track. Oh, Jake Cole braking and then having to accelerate because he broke a little bit too early. See what his lap time is going to be. It's going to be a 27.0 for the first lap. Let's get on board with Despair. No, we won't get on board with the reigning champion of Bonge. Let's see what lap time he can do. Rounding the final corner now, it's going to be a 27.2. I think that's his fastest lap so far. FRT Clar, I'd imagine he's about to put it on point. Will it be a 25? No, it's a 26.3 though. And that is the fastest lap we've seen in qualifying throughout, I believe, SRL/SVOR history. Let's get on board with his teammate, on the other hand. 27.9. That's in P4 so far. Let's get on board with, I believe it's going to be 5. No, it's going to be Taz, but he obviously had that spin. To spare, would have had a lap in, but he invalidated that. Reese coming around the final corner. It's going to be 27.2, goes P3. We've got Phoenix as well now. We have a yellow flag. We've got a Red Bull, not Red Bull, a Ferrari either spun round or has had a bit of a crash. I'm not sure which. Phoenix moves up to P3 with that lap. Got Greg Stars about to start his lap. We'll get on board with Despair. This will be his first lap, but there's not much fuel to use in this last use. That wasn't a good lap. I'm going to say though, I'm pretty sure you've gone faster, and Despair peels off into the pits. Probably noticed that he didn't have that much fuel to kind of work with. 5 Crown about to finish his lap after a couple of weeks away. It might have only been the 1 week, I'm not 100% sure. Goes into P7 though. Oh. As soon as this race done, I'm definitely going to have to go make some food. I'm getting very tired as well, so I'd imagine finish this race, go make some food, and I would imagine probably bedtime for me. Been up since I think it was like 7 o'clock, something like that, which is just too early for me. Transonic about to start his next flying lap. Phoenix on another lap by the look. No, he's coming into the pits. We've got Greg Stars about to finish his lap. Greg Stars rounding the final corner. Tray 7-4 goes to P6. I'll get on board with Tarzonic, who is up on his time. I'm not sure how long we have left. We've got 5.5 minutes to go in this session. Oh, Tarzonic's run out wide. I think 5 has run out of fuel. So we will get on board with the title challenger, I would definitely say. Gonna have to run Alpha Tauri all by himself tonight, as we don't have Brando with us tonight. As I said earlier, he is working, unfortunately. But we'll move past that. He should be back next week, apparently. So I think it is Austria next week, I think. I will just have a quick look, seeing as we're just waiting for Greg Stars. Not Greg Stars. To spare. Back to start his lap now. It's a terrible camera angle, but that's what I was doing. I was looking at the calendar. So yeah, it is Austria. Obviously, there are some plans for future seasons. At the moment, me and Bond are currently running SRL, as Gareth is kind of busy kind of doing everything else, as he has a life to live, I suppose. Obviously we have lives to live. But yeah, we've kind of taken SRL hands on. Obviously I can't do basically everything by myself, so Bond is a very good co-owner, I would say. Obviously if anything was to kind of happen to me, or I decide to kind of give SRL up, he'd probably be the owner. Obviously he's taken control of pretty much everything, I would say. He does the standings, which gets done, it'll probably be done tonight. I reckon he'll be on his PC after this race is finished, I would imagine. To spare the Q3 bottle job, quite literally. He's starting his lap now. And we've got a few more people out on track. We've got pretty much everyone apart from Phoenix, the Alfa Romeo of Reese, and Tarzonic. But I think Tarzonic is... Oh, see, I'm told you I'm tired. Tarzonic, I think, is now coming out on track by the looks of things. There we go. So it's just... I think we've also got... And I'll spare 1.6 up on his time. Obviously, I would imagine that will be even further down when he gets this lap in. I don't think anyone is on a lap closer to finishing, unless Bonges. I think Bonges just started his lap. See what his time's going to be in the first set. I think we've got a spin of 5 crown. We do indeed. Hopefully that doesn't distract Bonge all too much. Does have the Red Bull not too far behind, but he isn't on the lap, and he's just realised that. And to spare into the final couple of corners now. Let's see where this lap will put him. Goes P2. Only that's going to be 8 tenths. No, that will be 6 tenths off FRT Clark, who is on the lap himself. 5 Crown, I think, has... He might get a lap in, unless he's got damage. Can't tell from this angle. No, so he might go again. Let's get on board with Bonge, who's about to finish his, I believe, potentially his last lap of qualifying. Round in the final corner, goes into P2, and to spare down on his lap time, so that might be the final. And Jake Cool about to finish his lap. Let's see where he can place his Alfa Romeo. Rounding the final corner, goes up into P2, knocks Bonge down. And to spare is, that's his qualifying over. Reece Simo starting in P6. So that is going to be the end of his qualifying. Greg Stiles up on his lap. I believe, I would say a lot of people are Tazonic on a decent lap himself now. FRT Clark goes even quicker, and we're into the 26.2s. So he's 4 tenths ahead of Jake Cool. Thought Bonge was on another lap there, but he isn't, unfortunately. Greg Stiles crosses the line, he's in P5. His teammate is slightly up on his time as well. Let's see what Sector 2 going to be like for the Red Bull. Oh, hang on, let's get on board with Tazonic first. Goes up to P8, Havoc doesn't improve. 5 Crown slightly up on his lap time. Got both Red Bulls. Apparently Greg Stiles is on a lap, but he just isn't. He's finished his lap. Phoenix rounding the final corner now. Let's see what kind of lap he can do. Let's see where he can place that Red Bull. Goes to P2. And we're just waiting for 5 now, who's now rounding the final couple of corners. Bonge retiring the pits, P4 for him. Let's see where 5 can place the car, and it's only P9, so both Ferraris, P8 and P9 there. Wow, what a qualifying. Havoc, you got it right, mate. Clark P1, Phoenix P2, Jake Cool P3. So you've got something correct this race so far. Right. I will now have to go on to the general chat. So there we go, FRT Clark on pole position with Phoenix in P2. Jake Cool P3, Bonge in P4, spare P5, Greg Stiles P6, Reece in P7, Tazonic P8, 5 Crown P9, and Havoc starting in P10. We will be getting going relatively soon. I'm not sure why we're taking ages to get into the thingy. Ah, there we go. So we'll be starting at 1 minute past the hour. Let's get the chat back up. Very solid qualifying for Jake Paul on his debut, so congratulations to him. Nope, he bottled in Saudi. I can bottle now. Who bottled Saudi? I hope no one readies up, because otherwise you'll be getting a penalty. Let me just have a quick rundown of everyone's tyre. Everyone's on softs, so there you go, that was easy. I would imagine some people will probably change. I'd imagine. Let's keep an eye on it as soon as I can see literally everybody on the board. I'd imagine some will probably be hoping for a safety car within the first few laps, just so they can get off those soft tyres. I still don't know who Despair is talking about when he said he bottled in Saudi. I can bottle now. Who bottled it in Saudi? You're talking about Hamilton. Only 2 more minutes to go and then we are back to racing. There we go, Clips PGR being the first to go on to the mediums. Probably going to see a lot of 2 Lewis. John told me to take the helmet off. Oh, okay. I had to restart the chat because obviously I left the stream so I could go do the Discord stuff. So I didn't actually see his comments. So. Only 1 more minute to go and then we are back to... Ah, paper streams on the hard. Look. What an absolute goat. We'll probably see the countdown starting soon. We're not that far away from it being 1 minute past. Havoc, seeing as we've got a little bit to go, why did you say thank you to me before qualifying started on Xbox? Because I invited you. No contact with them, please. Just I have your address. Oof. This is like the longest minute I've ever seen in my whole entire life. There we go. People can be ready up now. Yeah, because... Oh, okay, fair enough. All eyes on Despair for the start of the race. By the looks of things. I won't. Better not do. John will hunt you down and shoot you in the face. Probably. Talking of Bond, his British Grand Prix races in SVOR/SRL haven't always been great, as he crashed out on the last lap with a few corners remaining a few seasons ago. Great, I can't even change camera. I'll do that then. Great. This is going to be fun. I can't even change. Sorry, I literally had to get rid of that crap. Right, so Bradford also changed to the mediums, so he is back. He did say he was downstairs. We had to tell him to get back upstairs. So, right, he won't spin like he did last season, though. He might spin like he did last season. Was it last season that he crashed on the lap? I don't think he crashed on the last lap, did he? I can't remember, it was ages ago. But anyways, FRT Clar now nearly ending his formation up. Predictions on the podium quickly before we get going. Should have a few minutes to do that. My prediction: Clar, Jake Hall, and Despair. That's going to be my podium prediction. Reese will probably hope for a decent race tonight. Otherwise, is lead at the top. Will Phoenix take the dial at Cops? Potentially. We never know. Bradford now rounding, taking ages to get to his grid box. But here we go. All the drive. Oh my god, there's Clar and oh, here we go. Red Bull and Mercedes at the front. We know what happened the last time we saw this at Silverstone. But here we go. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for the British Grand Prix. And Clar looks to have got a decent start. Havoc already making places. And Eclipse is down into last place. We have no spinners as of yet by the looks of things. Let's have a look behind Bonge, running out slightly wide. Let's get on board with Despair. Havoc looking for, and Tazonic losing places. I think Reese has lost a few as he spun. No, I think he's just got a really bad exit. Let's get back on board with OAP Big Boy. Such a weird gamer tag. But Jake Cool looking up the inside. Let's see if Phoenix can get the run on FRT Clar. I don't think he's going to have enough pace, but Jake Cool looking for a move up the inside but doesn't get that done. Jake Cool looking like the only driver that's able to maybe potentially do an overtake here. We've got a yellow flag and Reece Simo has spun around. The championship leader is now stone dead last. Into no points he goes. We've got this race strategy. A one stop for most of the drivers here. Jake Cool looking for a decent run here on the Red Bull. Despair also looking for a move on Bonge. Obviously this is Bonge's first race back in SRL. Reese only 8.4 behind. FRT Clar setting the fastest lap of the race so far. Let's see if he can pull off the Grand Slam. I would imagine he'd be well equipped to do that. Despair starting to settle into this race with Bonge just ahead of him in the Alpine. His teammate down in P12 at the current moment, but he is on his hard, so he will probably be going all the way to the end and doing it in Albono. I would imagine. You've got another yellow flag, and I think that's Reese in a bit of trouble again. He has gone off again, so I'm not really sure. It's a nice helmet, to be fair. It's kind of similar to the one I run, actually. Very similar. Let's get back on board with... who's the closest? We've got Despair on Bonge, actually. No DRS for a couple of more laps. Well, obviously, it'll just be next lap it will get activated. Bonge within DRS of Jake Cool. I'm sure a podium here for Bonge would be absolutely perfect. Jake Cool. Oh, he's going to be out of the race. I think he is indeed. Will that be a safety car? Oh my god. That'll get taken off. We have a VSC. I think Adam... Did Adam not get any damage? He's very lucky. A VSC, Jake Cool, unfortunately out of the race already. And that's... Oh, disappointed for him. Bonge up into the podium places now. We can see where... Oh god, Bonge is a bit very slidey through there. Not sure if that was intentional, but I'm sure the VSC will be starting to go. FRT Clark with a sizable lead. Are we back to racing? I don't think we are. No, we're not. Thought we were. Brando Alpha in the mud scenes. Oh, and Eclipse receives a penalty. For that to get removed from Adam, he will have to obviously send that in. We can't just say it'll get removed because it's unfairly given. He will have to send in. And Havoc just picked up a time penalty for going. So then VSC is ended. 5 round all over the back of the Mercedes, so that will have to be Eclipse and Havoc into the pits this time round, I would imagine. Oh, Spare on Bonge. Bonge. Oh, a slight contact. Spare getting the elbows out. Bonge isn't going to take that line down, I'd imagine. He's got Greg Stars now hunting him down. Yep, Havoc is into the pits. I'd imagine we'll probably see Eclipse PGR following suit. We do indeed. See that on the mini map. Let's get on board with Tazonic on Greg Stars. Greg Stars a little bit wide there. I generally have no idea how RSF1 Hunt did not DNF there. He did that last week, obviously, with Daleks having his broken down car, I guess you could say, on the side of the track, and he kind of just... I was close to hitting him as well, to be fair, but I managed to avoid it. Nice little battle for P2 to Spare, running out very wide there. That might have been a warning. Obviously I can't tell, because it doesn't say if they get warnings or not, unless obviously you go on to the race director thing, and I really can't be asked to do that, seeing as we have racing going on. FRT Clark with a 2.5 second gap at the top, and the Alpha Tauri now hunting down. He'll pick up a penalty now, watch. Oh no, one more he'll get a penalty, guaranteed. FRT Clark setting the pace once again. I think Bonge is just starting to get into the rhythm. Obviously a little bit rusty from having a couple of months off. No, it's not even a couple of months, is it? It's been about a month and a little bit, I would say. Obviously he raced yesterday in RF1 and actually won the race after a brilliant strategy. They even said that he went to P2, but I believe he'll be getting reinstated back into P1. But we're not talking about RF1, we are here for SRL. I'm pretty sure Bonge, if Bonge finishes where he is now, actually, he will overtake me in the standings, technically. Even though I'm not on the standings, technically, he will actually move ahead of me, obviously, if I do and when I do return. But he's keeping up with these two guys. The Spare, I imagine, will be looking for a move here on the Red Bull. And that's going to go down the inside. Oh, don't make too much contact. And he gets out ahead. So the Red Bull will come back at him though. That slots in just behind. Oh, he's a little bit wide there, slightly. Gets away with it. Bond now starting to reel him in. A Bradford now onto the back of his teammate. We'll see how that plans out. Could be some team orders very soon. Obviously we are running simulation damage. But Big Boy now, or Phoenix now onto the back of Despair once again. We will jump back to the McLarens if they get any more closer, which they don't. So we will keep on board with this lovely battle for P2. Despair now, I would imagine, will start to hunt down FRT class for the win. I'd imagine we'll probably get some safety cars during this race. We've had one BSC already. But Bond still keeping on to the back of these, so he's not falling away. But here comes Phoenix onto Spare. Spare looks like he's got more of a faster car in a straight line. But Phoenix now looking round the outside, doesn't outbrake him. Oh, this is going to be tight up the inside. Oh, and he spun. Oh, that's a big shame for Phoenix. He's going to be out. He's going to let these guys through. He doesn't want to cause another incident. So that is Phoenix all the way down to P9, unfortunately. That's kind of similar to what happened between Magnussen and I think it was Albon, when Magnussen, I think, went to go down the inside and death happened. Bradford picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now Bonge, not even using any ERS, bearing in mind he is now, but he's going to have a lot more to play with than what Despair has. I don't think Bonge has probably used any ERS at all this race until now. Let's keep an eye on, we'll keep an eye on Bonge for now, actually. And then we'll jump back to the McLarens, and Bonge is going to have a lovely run here. And Bonge pulling out of the slipstream already, and he'll be into P2. Let's get on board with Bradford. Let's see if he makes a move on his teammate. He does indeed. I don't think RSF1 Hunt is going to fight that all too much. Still can't believe he got away with damage after hitting Jake Cool's car. It might have been his rear end that hit it, because if it was his front end he would be out of the race surely. I do, obviously I am good friends with RSF1 Hunt, so I will probably talk to him, and I think that is a clips round. It is indeed. When he can get it into the right direction. There you go. I'd imagine he'll probably be pitting this lap, I would imagine. Anyways, let's get on board with Despair. Tazonic still hasn't found a way past Greg Stars. Phoenix now starting to creep up to the back of RSF1 Hunt as well now. Not even Despair's fault. Yeah, it's very 50-50. Obviously, Despair could have obviously left more room, but he's obviously got the race in line. He's obviously ahead at that point, so I'd imagine it will probably get sent into the stewards potentially. Obviously, I can't check the stewards chat because obviously I'm doing this. Despair, will he get the move? He won't. Clips into the pits, I would imagine, for either another set of mediums or a set of hards to go to the end. But he is now, unfortunately, a lap down. But he'll keep going. Obviously, we'll look for more. And RSF1 Hunt picking up yet another 3-second time penalty. He is definitely wanting to close this gap up to Brad. Which he just seems can't be doing. I think the softs are now starting to fall off slightly. It probably won't be too long until we see the soft runners into the pits. which is definitely going to help Bradford, who's now starting to creep up to 5 crown. And Despair Resimo with a 3-second time rate, who's still not in the points as of yet. Havoc actually coming into the pits now, I would say, for probably a set of mediums. We'll find out shortly, but Despair on to the back of Bonge now. Despair is getting probably very close to picking up a penalty or two here. Doesn't want to pick up too many penalties, especially around Britain. Can definitely harm you. There you go, look. Called it. But anyway, here comes Despair onto the back of Bonge. Bonge, I wouldn't imagine is going to fight this all too much. Let's see if any of these guys pit. Clark carries on. And I thought Bonge was coming in then, but he stays out for at least another lap. Let's see if anyone decides to come in. 5 crown into the pits. He comes. I thought maybe RSF100 would have came in, but he's decided to go another lap. Simmer now starting to creep up into his way up to Paperstream. Paperstream obviously with a little bit of a bad run as of lately, obviously DNFing the last 3 races due to basically no fault of his own, but anyways, Bonge now starting to fall into a nice rhythm, still keeping up with Despair. I'm not sure if Despair is going full pace. He's definitely using a lot more reserves than Bonge is. Bonge is literally using as minimal as he wants to, so it's probably strategic from Bonge there. Got Phoenix now within DRS range of the McLarens now. I would imagine RSF1 Hunt will probably be pitting this lap. Let's see if Clark comes into the pits. I think he is. He is indeed. Eclipse getting a 3-second time penalty for his troubles. Let's see what Bonge is doing. I think Despair is coming to the pit, so Bonge will take the lead of the race for now. We've got Tazonic also win. We've got RSF1 Hunt also coming in. We've got Phoenix in as well. 5 crown. Oh, I had Reset as well for a set of mediums. Bradford moves up to P3. Oh, 10-second time penalty for Eclipse. That will probably also won't get removed, as he doesn't usually. Oh, I think RSF100 has had a front wing change there. He was in the pits for quite a long time. He's now going to be. Oh, Eclipse might be retired. Yeah, he's retiring from the race. So Bonge now, I'd imagine, will be pitting this lap, same as Greg Stars, I would imagine. Paperstream still on those hards. Havoc on a fresh set of hards. See what Bonge decides to do. I'd imagine he'll be pitting this lap, unless he tries to extend his lead. He doesn't. He's into the pits. I would imagine Clark would be ahead of him. This will be a fight between him and Despair though, who comes out in P2. Bonge now rounding into the pit lane. So it'll be very close, I'd say. Depends if Despair has had his mediums up. Greg Stars takes the lead of the race, but I'd imagine he'll be in next lap. Bradford will probably then take the lead. Let's see, Despair now rounding the final corner, but he's going to go wide. And Bonge is going to be very close between these two. And I think Bonge is going to come out just ahead. It's going to be close. Oh, Despair's just ahead though. That was very unlucky from Bonge, but he's now in a net P3. With Greg Stars still not pitting. Tazonic now onto the back of Paperstream, and I think Paperstream is just going to let him through. No point holding him up. But now the biggest battle of them all, I would say, is between Despair and Bonge for P2. Hopefully they don't have any incidents. Obviously Despair with that time penalty. I will quickly, seeing as he's a little bit further behind, just see if Bonge is on any. He's not even one warning. Despair, I think that might have been a warning there from Bonge, but starting to use a bit of his, that's Greg Stars, as I said, into the bits of A. Bradford. Now, if there's a safety car soon, then that is definitely going to help Bradford in this race. I'm not sure how long a pit stop is under safety car. FRT Clark basically into the net race lead now. He was always in the race lead, but Greg Stars will now, I would imagine, come out ahead of Tazonic. He would indeed. Still going to be fairly close. And there we go, Tazonic just behind Greg Stars, which I think is how it was before the pit stops. DRS wide open. Bond starting to reel in Despair even more. Not sure if Alfie is back in a party with these guys, but Bradford running his own race, obviously in a battle with his teammate. But I think Hunt had to change his front wing. Obviously you guys won't know that, but actually yes we can, because we can go into pit stops and we can find, yeah, so he had to change his front wing, the same as Havoc. Havoc had a broken front wing. Apparently no. Oh no, I think RSF1 had a 5-second time penalty. That may be what that was. Anyway, we've got 5 Crown now getting past Paperstream. I don't know when Paperstream will be pitting. That's my phone now onto the floor. Hopefully it's not as cracked as yours. Alfie now 1.8 behind, technically, the race leader. But 14 laps into this race, only 2 drivers out of the race so far. Obviously 1 on track, 1 retiring into the pits, unfortunately. He'll be kicking himself if another 3 drivers crash out. Apologies for the yawning. I am super tired. Let's get back on board with Bonge. Oh, that's not Bonge. Bonge taking down his inside and cops. Go on. Oh, we've got a yellow flag, and that's going to be, I think, Reese. It is going to be Reese. And Reese's weekend goes from bad to worse. No safety car as of yet. Would be interesting to see if there's a safety car nearer to the end. Everyone, I would imagine, will be rushing to go onto the softs for the end. Here comes Bonge. Not looking for a move as of yet. The spare, I would imagine, is absolutely depleting. He is. Bonge with 100% Tazonic. Now getting past. And Bradford, I would imagine, probably just letting FRT Clark through that. These two were having a little bit of shits and giggles in practice earlier. It was quite entertaining to watch. But the battle for P5, which will be P4 when Brad eventually pits, will probably be in a few laps time, maybe potentially even this lap. Paperstream will be now under threat from RSF1 Hunt, but it looks like Paperstream is going to be finishing in the points this race. Unfortunately for Havoc, who kind of predicted it earlier, he got the qualifying correct. He said FRT Clark, he was P2. Was it no, Despair was P5. We Simo and I think that's going to be Ricimo's race coming to an end, and it has. He has had enough of this race. He doesn't want to continue, which don't blame him. I think Jake Cole was kind of giving him some support there by the looks of things, as he's now just left the session. 12 laps remaining. FRT Clark in a world of his own. Still got Brad behind him, still in DRS. And to spare, Ricimo has now left the session. Another yellow flag. That's just for, because we're now going through that zone. What an interesting race it's been. 5 Crown now onto the back of Phoenix. We'll keep an eye on that battle. We'll keep an eye on the times between Bonge and Despair. See if they come down. Bradford with yet another 3-second time penalty. Not sure that's going to help him in any way. A safety car now, though, would definitely help Havoc. He's not too far from being lapped. If he has to pit one more time, I'd imagine he'll be lapped very quickly. But Bonge now looking for a move. Greg Stars back onto the back of Tazonic in this fight for P4 eventually. It's going to definitely heat up. Hopefully we have no more DNFs. 5 Crown's starting to lose a little bit of time on Phoenix. I'll go for a quick drink because my throat's getting a bit dry. Regstar seems to be a little bit quicker than Tazonic, but we will see now. Regstar's looking for a move up the inside. Let's see if Tazonic keeps around the outside. Bradford with yet another penalty. Regstar's looking for the move. He doesn't go for it though. And this battle is definitely heating up now. Bonge still keeping within basically half a second of Despair. Definitely helping him in this race. Still lots more for Bonge. And let's keep an eye on Greg Stars now. I don't think Bonge is going to be able to make a move. We'll keep an eye on him though. No, he doesn't. Greg Stars now looking for a move on Tazonic. Does he go for the move up the inside? No, stays behind. If that was me, I'd probably go for the move, just because I'm stupid. Bonge now slowly starting to creep up to Despair. I don't think he'll try and make a move as of yet. He'll wait for his time. Blonge? There you go, that's the new nickname for Bonge. Blonge. Playing his strategy absolutely well. Greg Stars still looking for a move on Tazonic, his teammate for this race. Starting to keep up, unfortunately. Squire isn't here, and Paperstream is now into P10. RSF1 Hunt finally gets past. Bradford still out on track on those medium tyres. Bonge now looking for a way past, but doesn't take that opportunity just yet. Tazonic and now Greg Stars. Greg Stars going to the outside. Let's see if he goes for a move. No. No one wants to overtake each other. That's just funny. Some lovely battles going on though. Oh, got yellow flag, and that's going to be 5 crown round. That's going to help. And RSF1 Hunt up to P8. Paperstream now. I don't know if 5 has any damage. I don't think he does. Havoc picks up a 3-second time penalty. Oh. I don't even know where 5 is going there. Oh, we've got to move. Greg Stars gets past Tazonic for P5. But Tazonic comes back for the move, back down the inside. Doesn't go for the move just yet though. It's going to be a fantastic race between these two. Let's see what 5 does. I don't think he has. He's still going to continue. But he's a damaged imitation at the moment. Let's get back on Tazonic. Not really any point going on board with Bonge as of now. Oh, and Havoc's out! We could see a safety car. And it is! It's a safety car! Oh, that's going to help Brad. Oh, you fucking... Oh, I don't think Bonge is very happy though. He was looking very good there. Let's see if Alfie and Brad decide to pit this lap. I would imagine they will be. Set us off to the end now. I did say there's probably going to be a safety car near to the end of the race. And my prediction has come true. So everyone now will finish in the points. FRT Clark into the pits. So does Bradford. Let's see if Despair decides to stay out. I'd imagine he would. Bradford. Oh, he's picked up a 5-second time penalty. That is going to ruin his chances of a podium. Oh, I feel bad for Havoc there. Just wasn't his race tonight though. But I'm sure he'll go again next week. I think Phoenix was just trying to give him a nice gap so he doesn't get held up. Oh, it's F1 Hunt picking up a time penalty. Speeding in the pit lane. Nice double stack from Red Bull there. Paper Stream carries on. He'll probably just pit next lap anyway. That's what he usually does under safety car. So Brad is now technically into net P2. But we'll have Spare and a good friend of Bond. So I'd imagine there's a bit of communication between Brad and Bonge now to kind of hold Despair up potentially. Obviously I'm not in the party to kind of hear them. Let's have a look to see what Havoc has to say. Reese's AI can suck in neck first corner. It cuts me off, give me massive slide pod and floor damage couple laps later and moves under braking, giving me front wing damage. I tried to deal with it until that lap I lost the car. Oh, that's unfortunate, mate. Wait, was he not actually racing, or was he just in AI all the time? Because that's against the rules if he was just in AI when you're racing. But, I'd imagine Paper Stream will probably be in this lap. Behind his teammate at the moment. And Paper Stream is into the pits. No, it was an X above his car. So he's disconnected. But how does that... How would that DNF his car? I don't know. This game is just weird. And trash. I'd imagine 5 Crown will probably get out ahead of Paper Street. Indeed, Paper Stream will pick up at least a point. I'm not sure what the 90% rule of is 20. I think it's 23. So probably as soon as the safety car comes in. Yeah, like I said, just go again next week. the only thing you can do, really. Yeah, probably. I mean, this game now has, well, I mean, I would say now has, it's always had desync issues, but you'd think after all these years, you'd think they'd be able to fix that problem, but you know how useless they can be. Right, so if Bond stays where he is, he will actually finish P2 because of the penalties. 17 seconds for Brad, which would technically put him last, apart from Adam might get out just ahead of him. Be careful, Bond. Safety car will probably be in this lap. Might even be one more lap after. Oh, that safety car is in this lap, so everyone will now start warming up their tyres. Got on board with Clark, who is now effectively the safety car. Would not want a puncture at the stage, and I think Clark has indeed gone. It definitely looks like he has. Bradford now probably going to be a mobile chicane for Despair. We know how these two are like on track. Oh, Bradford getting very out of shape through turn 1 and turn 2. Oh, I think that might be damage for Despair, and it is. Despair with damage. Running into the back of Bradford there. Bond is definitely probably going to know about that. I don't know if anyone has. Tazonic and Phoenix now battling it out. And Bond now getting past Despair. Despair with that damage on the left, well, the right hand side of his car, sorry. That is going to be an absolute killer through this next corner. Yeah, he's having to pull. Oh, it's going to be even a bigger pain now. Going to have Greg Stars all over the back of him. Hopefully Greg Stars notices that he has a little bit of front wing damage and he goes in the back of OAP. Big boy now. And Despair. That's just really unlucky. He's probably going to get overtaken by Phoenix as well. He does indeed. I'd imagine Bradford not going to hold up Bond for too long. Despair into the pits. I hope he doesn't retire. He's still going to get points. Probably go for fastest lap as well. So Bond, I'm not gonna run the ball. Let's get on board with the Red Bulls though. Fucking battling it out. Look, that's lovely. Phoenix getting past his teammate for this race anyway. Tazonic very in too deep there. I don't think Bond will make an overtake just because he is obviously Brad does have a lot of penalties. Tazonic though on the other hand, if Bond picks up a penalty now, he might lose a couple of places. But FRT Clark now getting that sizable lead. He did say he was going to come into this race to win it. 3 laps technically remaining. Tazonic still looking for a way past the Red Bull. Bond just kind of in like a safety gap now though, because he has a guy ahead of him with penalties and a guy behind him with penalties. Greg Stars and Tazonic will most likely start to battle now and could potentially push themselves with penalties as well. I mean, if I was battle, I would just let Bonds through. I don't know why he hasn't done it yet. Oh my god. That was some lag and a half. And Bonds is kind of getting his race compromised here. He'll probably make a move now though. And there we go. P2 for Bonds. Maybe Brad didn't get all those penalties. It'd be, oh, Tazonic now. Getting past Red Stars. That'll be for P3 actually. If he can start to creep up to 2 laps remaining. As of now, oh my god, what the hell was that? I need to watch that back on stream. I feel like it just went purple. I don't know, it was just my eyesight going weird or anything, I don't know. Got 5 crown now onto the back of RSF Hunt, but obviously he does have those penalties to spare. No idea where he was going. Bonds getting a better exit out of this corner. Saving up as much ERS as he can, as we are now about to head on to the final lap of the race. Holding the car with massive side pod and no, I'm happy with that. Yeah, at least Paper Stream gets points, that's the main thing. But here we are, the final lap of the British Grand Prix FRT car. Leading by 3.4 seconds over Bonds, who has Brad and Phoenix just behind him at the moment. There'll be DRS trains for a couple of these guys. Tazonic starting to lose a little bit of time now to Phoenix, who will probably get the podium spot here. Unless something drastic happens to Phoenix, RSF Hunt picks up a time penalty. Unless he picks up what as Adam's just done, picked up a penalty. Brad is having 0 fucks given apparently. So here we go. For the final time. Greg Stars. Oh, Greg Stars picks up a penalty, but he's going to be fine. He might lose a spot to 5 crown. He might do now. FRT Clark coming round the final corner now to win the British Grand Prix. And Bonds on his return to SRL is going to come home P2. OAP, Big Boy comes P3. Tazonic moves up to P4, Greg Stars in P5, 5 crown moves up to P5 now, and Bradford had that many oh my god, Bradford just died on track. Oh wow, what a race. I was just waiting for Despair, who is tiptoeing his way round the track. Wow, what a race. Oh, Tazonic was only a 10th off. I'm getting P4. So we'll just wait for Despair to cross the line. It's taking absolutely forever to. Pardon me. There we have it. FRT Clark wins the British Grand Prix with Bonge in P2. Phoenix comes home in P3. Tazonic in P4. And there we go. We will now invite the drivers in for a chat. Paper stream with drivers a day, yeah, definitely agree. Invite, and then invite. Oh my god, what on earth is that dance? And there we have it, FRT Clark raising the trophy. So we have a classification of
okay.
Now that everyone's here, include your audios, please. Well, what a race that was. FRT Clark in P1, Bond on his return, and Phoenix, I guess, basically on his return again, I suppose. For P3, Tazonic only a tenth away from getting that podium. 5 Crown moves up to P5 after a few drivers had some penalties. And Paper Stream from I think it was P8 at the time, moves up to P7 and deservedly gets driver of the day. So we'll start off with P3. Phoenix obviously started P2, got the greatest race for yourself, but a load of battles in the race, and you've come home in P3 for your, I guess, reserve race. Yeah, just give us a few words on your race tonight.
Yeah, obviously, Clark was just way too quick, and it was just trying to basically still P2. Obviously, I had a battle with Despair, but he spun me, so luckily I didn't get no damage, and I was able to thing. And then obviously that safety car was basically a saving grace, because I knew that I had a bit more pace than people in front, and it was just basically just getting ahead of them, pushing a bit too hard, managed to get myself a penalty. So I was like, well, maybe I might not get this podium, but luckily I managed to get a 3-second gap. Obviously I was grateful that Bonds got in front of Bradford, because obviously he seemed like he had more pace, so he was able to pull him, and then I was able to stick with and just pull away a bit. But obviously not the greatest of races. Also I did some quite good overtakes, which I'm pretty proud of, but obviously could have been P2, but P3 is not that bad.
Yeah, it's no great race anyways, so congratulations. Move over to P2. Bonge, hello, welcome. You did say earlier that you were going to get a podium.
No, I didn't. Get bent.
Yes, you did, because
No,
you
I
said you were going to
didn't.
join me anyway. Yes, you did, stop lying. Yeah, started, I think it was P4.
Yeah.
And had a pretty decent race, a little battle with Despair, and then the safety car came out, and then Bradford killed his front wing, which ultimately put Despair into the pits, and that was kind of the end of that. And yeah, your return has been, I would say, successful, coming home in P2, so just give us a few words of your race tonight.
Yeah, P2, best of the rest. Clark just is in a complete different league. He's just absolutely clear of everyone. The absolute hero, so there was no beating him. But P2, really happy with that. I just kind of kept my own pace. I kept my own comfort zone. And my engineer John, know he's listening, love you. He was giving me like, how are the tyres? It's like, yeah, fine. Don't know why you're worrying, mate. Perfectly fine. Comfortable. I could go quicker if you want me to. But just sitting in my own little world, basically pressuring Despair all race. That was a sight to see. I've never been near him in my league racing career. Come now, I've been battling him for a podium pretty much all race. So kept him on his toes, kept him with an empty battery while I was sitting there on a full one. Absolutely loved to see it.
I noticed that a few times.
And yeah, it was just super fun race. That safety car definitely spiced things up at the end, but got there in the end, I suppose. P2, really good for L Plan. My teammate P8 as well. Unfortunately, he has the 5 seconds, otherwise it would have been P7. But L plan is just starting. We got this.
Did Premature not finish P7, did he?
He finished P7 on track, but 4.4 seconds ahead of Adam, and he has the penalty from Backy.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Oh, shit, yeah. Fuck. Oh, well. We move. But yeah, congratulations, Bond, on your return and on that P2. We'll interview the winner. I mean, that's definitely going to help your championship, especially with Reese not even finishing tonight. I'm not sure what the gap will be now, but you'll definitely be very, very close. Obviously, your teammate having a bit of a disappointing race. But yeah, a very good win for yourself. Kept it looked pretty easy for yourself. But yeah, just give us a few words of your race tonight.
Well, yeah, you're right. That definitely helps the championship. I don't think it could have gone any worse. When the main guy is trying to beat DNS and you get P1 plus fastest lap. So, yeah, you're right. Also, Despair. He's also up there, so it was good to outscore him too. Brando obviously not being here, and he's above me, so that was another person. So basically, it was the ideal weekend, and yeah, it was pretty not comfortable at the beginning. I had like no grip on the softs, and even worse on the mediums. I kept trying losing the rear throughout sector 1, but then safety car came out, and I was able to just relax on the softs for the remainder of the race. Now the restart, so I had the cushion and just drove.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty easy from my end, but obviously you're the one driving. That does put you up into P2 in the standings.
He's 13 points behind Reese. I've just worked it out.
Yeah. With Despair only picking up the 1 point. I don't know what it does for constructors.
That I don't know. I'll work that out in a minute when I do the standings.
AlphaTauri will still be ahead, but you'll definitely
not by
pull
much,
away
though.
from Alfa Romeo, and I think Ferrari have probably overtaken. Oh no, they wouldn't have. It's only. Oh no, they might have done. I don't know. But anyways, congratulations, Alfie, for your win. We will be back next week for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's been fun being back in the comms box, I guess. But yeah, thank you. We will be back next week. Congratulations to all three of you, and we will be back soon, and goodbye.